that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
YouTubers, welcome to Bowers Board Game Corner. My name's Lucy. We got our friend Josiah and
Forrest, and we're here for another Thoughts from the Corner where we take a look at a game. And today we're going to be talking about the brand spanking new Campaign for President from Double Critical Games. This is for 3 to 6 players, ages 8+, taking about 45 minutes to play. And in Campaign for President, this is a take-that-style card game that, at its core, can be played in the very, very, very simple version or a slightly more convoluted advanced version. We played with all the advanced stuff in there, and they recommend if you're over the age of 14, which I thought was a very interesting age to pick, then you do it. So the basic premise of the game is really quite simple. On your turn, you are going to roll dice, and you are going to gain voters or lose voters. Then you're going to draw a card, and then you're going to play a card from your hand, and that card might attack people. It might help you. It might give you persistent special abilities. It might give you a special ability you can use otherwise. And then you're going to continue to do that until you run out of a deck, at which point, if you're playing the basic version of the game, whoever has the most voters will be the President of the United States, or wherever the hell you're playing. And if you're playing the more advanced version, which I think most people are probably going to do who are watching this video, then you will come to this electoral college thing where based on the number of voters you have, you're going to get electoral college cards, which means you could get California, which will give you 55 points, or you could get Utah, which will give you like 4, all completely random. That's the general gist of the game. Who wants to start off with their opinions on it?
I mean, it was an okay game. Like, we've played worse, but like for a political game, like the first things that come to mind are like corporate America, or like something a little more like voting. Like, it's a simple game. It's just like you have cards in your hand, you read the card, you do the action. But it's very long for the type of game it is. It's a very like takes out that kind of card games either have to be like have like little mechanics with them, or they have to be pretty quick to like sort of soften the blow of just like kind of being cheated out of your turn, because sometimes you'll gain like a lot of voters one turn, but the next moment like you're in a debate, not only do you lose cards, but you lose voters, and it's hard to
swingy.
It's very swingy.
Woo! Which is
both
fun when it's a 2-hour game or a 90-minute game or a 60-minute game.
It's a 45-minute game, and
how long did it take us?
It felt like an hour and 15.
It felt longer, but like when I looked at the time, we were still pretty good on time.
But it felt longer. I think we can all agree it felt longer than whatever the time was, and I definitely think you bring up a very good point. With a game like this, you want it to wrap up. Now, we weren't playing with all the extra stuff, but that being said, the extra stuff is the best part of the game. We'll talk about that.
What do you think, Josiah?
I went into this thinking I really didn't want to play because it's take that game, and I don't really take that. And if I had sitting 45 minutes, I might have actually sat out. I was actually more impressed than I thought I'd be, but that's not saying much. Overall, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10.
What's your favorite take that style? Do you have a favorite take that style card game?
I mean, my very first card game past 2000 I played was Munchkin. So I mean, that has a kind of soft spot in my heart. But that being said, I don't like playing it anymore because
not many people do.
That's the exact same thing as me.
Yeah, especially if you play 6 players, it's just it's too long. 3 too long.
Oh no.
So therefore I actually when I played the last time I played Munchkin 6-player, I just said no more take that game.
Stop saying it. Stop saying it. Don't put those words together.
Just PTSD.
I played one Munchkin 6-player game and then I was like, never, ever speak of this game and we'll never do it again.
No.
So, but I did worse than he did. I just swore off take that games and I almost didn't play this game. But I'm happy I did because it reminded me how to don't like take that games. But it was better than I thought it would be. When he said roll dice to get voters, I thought it would be you roll 12, you get 12 voters. No, it had a scale, but it was not that great.
No.
It was kind of terrible.
Speaking of not that great, let's talk about the rule book.
Okay, so we have a Bowers Game Corner lesson for you, and I've only had to bring this lesson up for a couple very special rule booklets. But for every aspiring game creator out here, this section of the rule booklet with all this text is where you should include all the very useful information that everyone needs. Now, once we are past the game end and we get to the card icons and the card breakdown and expansion cards and terminology, you're like, I don't need to read this part of the rules to understand the game, correct? No. There's a very important rules in this section of the game, which should be in this section of the game, in particular when it gets to rally and waver, because these are two very important cards in this game, since this is, in its core, I mean, if you roll poorly, you will lose this game. Let's be quite frank. That's one of the biggest cons of this game. That is generally something that should never be in a game longer than 30 minutes. I think we can all agree on that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It is in here, but there's a rally and a waiver card. When you play a waiver card on someone, they just get completely screwed over. You go from gaining, tens of millions of voters to losing tens of millions of voters every single turn. And there's an essential rule that is not where it should be. It's all the way in the back. And there's just other stuff. Like, we were constantly going through the rule booklet.
Things, and I guess, also, the size of it. I like the size, how it's small, but it's it's filled with a lot of text that it doesn't need. And because it's filled with a lot of, filler text, you lose patience, and you just start skimming to skip through all the actual necessary stuff.
I feel like we went 3/4 through the game and we're still learning, still looking at the rule book. And when you're going 3/4 through the game and still looking at the rule book, it doesn't flow well.
Especially with a simple game. Yes, we were same wavelength. This is because most of the turns I roll the dice. I get 10 million voters. Hooray! I draw a card. Oh, this card says I get 10 million voters. My turn's over. I shouldn't really have to be checking the rules 40 minutes into the game on a game that's simple. Now, let's talk. We haven't talked about the big thing, which is at the end, the Electoral College. If you're playing with the advanced version of the game, which if you back the Kickstarter, you will want to, because if we were to play just the basic version of the game with no campaign managers, no, it'd be super simple.
It'd be simple, but I'd be bored, and it's even with the cards in front of it, the advanced rules, it extends the game, but without it, it's still too long for what it is.
Oh, so you're going there? Yeah.
No,
I don't disagree.
Yeah. It's because I'm trying to think of
for what it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of if we didn't have those advanced little extra rolls. My special power was I have an extra card. I get to have an extra card in my hands. Limit is 1 higher.
High five! You just reminded me of something else bad about the game, which is some of the special abilities definitely feel more powerful than other special abilities.
Yeah.
Bar none. It's this ground's great, and then it's gone forever. It's I just gotta keep doing that. Gotta keep doing that. But the main thing, man, there's so many main things that I don't like about this game. The main thing is just the swinginess. And when you get to the Electoral College, if you do that, you will see it in full force. The fact that I can get one card that is a 3, and then you can get one card that is a 55, and it's just, why? The shuffle. It's there's so much, too much.
Essentially, after the game is over, after you've played about an hour of the game, it's here's a little extra 20-minute filler, and it's
it wasn't that long.
There's
a lot of counting.
It felt that long.
Yes, it did feel that long.
And it tells you, you have the most votes, but it doesn't stop at votes. You now have cards based on the amount of votes you have, and those are also randomly distributed. And it's maybe you can get to 270. You can't. Time to play a little mini game of bidding.
Well, then also, you guys were still in the game. So it was me and Alan we played a 4-player game of this. We were still in the game, and then it came down to this mini auctioning thing, which was kind of interesting. But to be honest with you, Alan thought for sure I was going to win, and I thought for sure I was going to win, and it felt a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, and you can try to spare it out, and but all that it's doing is also prolonging the game, and it's just
Here's the thing. So in that situation, if you were really crushing someone and then you got all the really good cards, you got Texas and you got California, you're going to feel cheated. It's going to be cool for the other person, but you're going to feel cheated. And I just don't see a good way that I don't know. I didn't like
at the end, because we were close, because me and Josiah were the spoilers. So as our goal was to actually make sure that you guys don't get 270.
Yes.
But then even after you succeed if you succeed in that in theory, after that it's just a die roll.
Yeah, so then it's just roll the dice, whoever gets higher wins. It's we just played for 45 minutes, an hour. It's cool, this just came down to literally us rolling 2 dice and see,
And that's only if one person doesn't make it to 270, but the 2 players that are spoilers can easily make sure that happens by just not giving the person the most votes.
We also got it. It could have been a lot bigger. If California would have came up as one of those 5 cards, it would have been super anticlimactic, because it would be I bid everything and I win immediately. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's do the test. The new Bowers Game Corner campaign for president. I played this with 3 other people. Would you like to keep this game?
No,
take it. Well, you want it, Josiah?
No.
Come on. I know Alan didn't want it. He did not like it. And I am in the same boat as well. I don't really ever feel like playing this with anyone ever again. There's nothing that we played with everything. And yes, there's some extra cards.
I can play funner games, I can play shorter games, and I can play more complicated games in the same amount of time.
Bingo. With better rules.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
Not take this
and the artwork is just not that.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not
It's not. Well, the thing is, it's nothing. Cause like, you know what this game reminded me of? Like that one other political game that kind of also like broke.
Oh yeah, I kept that one though because that one was actually kind of interesting. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Biplane games. Wow, I don't remember the name of it.
Remind me of that same kind of
Filibuster.
artwork. Yeah, filibuster.
Wow, look at that throwback. Nice throwback. I will also say, okay, this pretty much is everything you need in the game for the most part, and this is the box. And come on, man,
So
look
much
at all
space
that.
on
Look
it.
at all that on you.
I guess for expansions.
If the game
Shut
ever
your
gets expansions.
So that is Campaign for President from Double Critical. This is the deluxe edition, which I'm not actually sure what was deluxe. Did you see anything deluxe that seemed deluxe?
Maybe the extra like
Cards.
that bonus
Oh, deluxe
part?
expansion. Oh yeah. So what's in the deluxe expansion? The so it's all the cool stuff. The Electoral College cards, the customizable cards, the 5 incumbent cards, the 8 candidate backgrounds, the candidate talents, campaign managers. So all the stuff that made the game fun. So if you
Yeah.
got the contents of the box, sorry, but oh man, you know what? Double
Like,
critical.
it does
We are
every-
triple critical on this one.
Yeah, like it functions. Like the filibuster, it did not function as a game. This actually functions as a take that game, but I have several other take that games because like I like take that.
Dead,
games.
Lucy. You beat it.
No, it's not.
That is Campaign for President from Double
Yeah.
Critical. One that is a very hard recommendation for honestly just about anybody.
Yeah, there's a lot of other games.
I think it's trying to be in different audiences, and it shouldn't be in either audience. It should be for guys that want to play really complicated games, and it shouldn't be in the audience for
It's too
simple
long for
games.
simple games.
It's trying to be in two different audiences at the same time. It shouldn't be in either audience.
Perfect. Campaign for
Yeah.
President, Double Critical looks like it might be a cup of tea. What the hell were you watching? If you enjoyed what we're doing, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below. Also, in the comments below, let me know if you could make any celebrity in the world president. Who would you pick? Don't worry. Doesn't matter if they're from America. Just who would you want to be president based on like, I think he'd do a good job. I think she'd do a good job.
Dude,
Who do you think would do a good
I
job?
was
What
going for-
president?
I was just going for memes.
Flavor Flav. Yeah, go Flav. What are you thinking? Be funny. I mean,
It was just like my first thought was like either like Nicki Minaj, Kanye West. Oh, bro.
well, you got a chance for Kanye. So Nicki Minaj. You going
You got
Nicki Minaj?
this. Nicki Minaj.
All right. I'm not against Nicki. I'd vote for her right now. For me personally, I would go with who would I like to see? Who would be the most awesome president?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I would go with the dumbest celebrity I know because then we could hopefully get some change because they just jack everything up. I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm just gonna go with. I'll go with Justin Bieber because I like him. I think he's talented.
Who'd you go for?
I'm guessing I'd go for Bill Murray just because I'm put on the spot.
He would totally win. Bill Murray would destroy.
Yes.
But let me know in the comments below what random celebrity would you want for president. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.